Welcome to our Sales per Point training video. At this point, you should have watched the SPINS overview and basic measures training videos on dollars, units, price, and distribution. In today's training, we are going to give you a quick review of the basic velocity measures, including dollar sales per point of distribution and unit sales per point of distribution, also known as velocity. Dollar SPP is calculated by dividing dollar sales by the average percent ACV. Unit SPP is calculated by dividing unit sales by average percent ACV. Dollar velocity is useful in understanding an item's strength in a store market. Unit velocity gives us an understanding of how quickly an item is turning. SPP is a useful measure as it takes distribution into the equation, which allows for more of an equal comparison between items. This is also a very useful measure to consider as it's a way to identify new and upcoming items that have strong sales where they have distribution. Let's go ahead and look at an example of unit sales per point of distribution. In this case, we have two items moving with different dollar sales and distribution levels. Item A has a higher unit sales and distribution compared to item Z. If we just look at units and distribution alone, we would think that the item A outperforms item Z. However, in the next slide, if we take a look at sales per point of distribution, it tells us a more complete story. Unit sales per point of distribution, we take the unit sales of item A, 36.4, and divide it by the average percent ACV of item A, 87%. Comparing the unit velocity rates of these two items, we see that item A is selling 418 units per point of distribution. Item Z is selling 473 units per point of distribution. Unit sales per point of distribution show us that item Z is actually moving more quickly than item A. Similar to our units example, looking at dollar sales and distribution between these two items tells us that item A is a top performer as it has higher dollars and stronger distribution than item Z. However, when we look at dollar sales per point of distribution and divide the dollars of item A, 600, divided by their average percent ACV, 90%, we find that item A is selling $6.67 per point of distribution, compared to $8.33 per point of distribution for item Z. Comparing sales per point of distribution levels allows you to compare item performance while controlling for a product's distribution levels. Now let's look at an example of what the dollar potential would be for item Z if they were to achieve the same distribution, average percent ACV, as item A. Since we've already calculated dollar SPP from the previous slide, and we recall that item A moves $6.67 per point of distribution, and item Z moves $8.33 per point of distribution, we can simply multiply the dollar SPP for item Z times the distribution for item A to get an opportunity estimate. So take the $8.33 sales per point of distribution for item Z and multiply it times 90%, and you will get $749. This means that if item Z were to achieve 30% more distribution, it is a $749 opportunity for that item. This concludes our Velocity Fact training. Please review the individual training videos to start reviewing the user interface for the 8 quick start reports in the SPINS web-based portal. Thank you.